It is noon in Iowa City. The temperature is 66 degrees, and for KRUI, this is the latest news with Keaton Fuller.
And Aleksandra Vujicic.
Today's headlines include: one group on campus plans to protest Bruce Harold's appointment today, the American Cancer Society has new guidelines for women screening for breast cancer, and today marks the arrival of Back to the Future Day.
A large-scale protest is expected to happen today before the Iowa Board of Regents meeting. Iowans defending our universities, a newly formed union on campus, announced plans to protest the regents in response to the hiring process of businessman Bruce Harold as the next University of Iowa president. They are expected to protest at 3 p.m. outside the Iowa Memorial Union. The campaign to organize graduate students have also committed to join the efforts.
Iowa City firefighters battled a house fire on East College Street that allegedly resulted from a lightning strike during last night's storm. The house belonged to artist and former University of Iowa professor Hans Breder, who had friends over to celebrate his 80th birthday. No one was injured in the blaze, but Breder said he worries for the priceless works of art that were still inside. Graduate students may soon find some extra motivation to stay in Iowa after graduation. UI Graduate and Professional Student Government is pushing for legislation that would ultimately leave some room in next year's state education budget to offer a tax cut for graduate students. The person would have to commit to staying in Iowa for 5 years after graduation.
Speaker of the House John Boehner announced today that the election for the new speaker will be held next week, and the Republican Party may finally be getting new leadership in the House following Representative Paul Ryan's announcement that he would run for speaker, but only under certain conditions. In an address to the House Republican caucus last night, Ryan said he would run if the party could unite behind him. Ryan was formerly Mitt Romney's running mate during the 2012 elections. Vice President Joe Biden announced he is not running for the presidency earlier today at the Rose Garden. And the Democrats have lost a presidential hopeful in their already small group of candidates. Jim Webb dropped out of the presidential primary yesterday, telling reporters he may consider a run as an independent. As for the Republican side, businessman Donald Trump is yet again on top of the polls of the GOP field. A new Washington Post ABC News poll shows 32% of Republican or Republican-leaning voters support Trump, which is just a small slip from 33% from early September. Former neurosurgeon Ben Carson landed in second place with 22% support.
Women are now recommended to get their mammograms later and less often. The American Cancer Society issued new guidelines saying women should start getting mammograms at age 45 instead of 40 and should cut back to exams every other year. After reviewing the literature, the group says mammograms just aren't very effective. This comes in the middle of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and some advocates of women have already criticized these guidelines.
The release of the final trailer for the upcoming Star Wars Episode 7 has fans calling for a boycott of the film. Hashtag boycott Star Wars 7 was started by people who felt the casting of a black actor as one of the leads is an example of anti-white propaganda. Controversial tweets claiming the film is quote-unquote reappropriating white culture were quick to go viral. However, the force does not appear to be with these critics, as the new film is already shattering records in advance ticket sales.
Many worry that the Cubs' dream season may be over after suffering their third loss in their championship series. The Cubs wrapped up their third game in a 7-game series against the Mets with a 5-2 loss. To turn things around, the team will have to win its remaining 4 games against the Mets. The next game takes place tonight, with the last one wrapping up the series on Sunday. A Cubs World Series victory was in fact predicted 26 years ago in 1989's Back to the Future Part 2. And today, October 21st, 2015, marks the anticipated arrival of Back to the Future Day. In the film, Marty McFly traveled to this day to save his yet-to-be-born children. Many have been comparing the future predicted by the film to the present day to see how much it got right. Some predictions, like big-screen TVs and virtual reality glasses, were right on the money. Others, such as flying cars and dehydrated pizza, not so much.
Finally, a quick look at the weather forecast for Iowa City. Right now, the temperature is 66 degrees, with rain to continue throughout the afternoon. For KRUI News, I'm Aleksandra Vujicic.
And I'm Keaton Fuller. Have a great day, Iowa City.